Welcome back. We know you want to cut through the noise and get straight to what matters.
Exactly. So today we're doing another deep dive.
We've gathered a few key headlines from the past few days. We're talking economics, trade, some travel news.
Social movements, even business changes.
Yeah.
Seems like a mixed bag.
It does, but our mission here is to connect the dots for you, to find the critical insights hidden beneath the surface.
And it's quite interesting how these, well, seemingly separate stories actually weave together. They give us a snapshot of the current moment.
Good point. Where should we start? Maybe the economy.
Sounds good. Federal Reserve Chair Powell has been talking recently.
Right, raising concerns about long-term interest rates possibly creeping up.
Yes, and he linked it to the idea of more frequent, maybe more persistent, supply shocks hitting the economy.
Okay, supply shocks. Remind us, what does that mean in practical terms for, for you listening?
Well, think of a sudden disruption. Maybe it's geopolitical, affecting oil, or a natural disaster hitting supply chains. It jolts the flow of goods.
And that pushes prices up.
Often, yeah. Powell's worry seems to be that we might be entering a period where these shocks are more common. It's a different challenge than just managing demand.
So potentially higher borrowing costs down the line? Mortgages, loans?
That's the implication, yes.
Uh.
Central banks might need different tools, and it could make borrowing more expensive.
Okay, interesting. Now, against that economic background, there's this development on the trade front, U.S. and China.
Ah, yes, the 90-day ceasefire in the trade dispute.
Ceasefire, so it's temporary. A pause, not a resolution.
Exactly. It's a window for negotiation.
Mm.
Tariffs, those taxes on imports, they add costs everywhere. So, pausing them.
Offers some relief. Reduces a bit of the uncertainty in global markets.
For now, yes, markets generally like seeing steps toward negotiation.
Yeah.
But the core issues, the ones that started the dispute, they're still there.
So, something to definitely keep watching.
Absolutely. It's a fluid situation.
All right, let's pivot a bit. Global security and travel, we saw updated U.S. travel alerts.
That's right, for Spain and Germany specifically, urging heightened awareness.
Heightened awareness due to potential terrorism threats or unrest in tourist spots.
Yes. The advice is basically to exercise increased caution. It's a reminder, really.
A reminder that global stability or instability can directly affect you, especially if you're planning travel.
Precisely. It connects global events right back to individual decisions and the tourism sector. Constant vigilance is sort of the message.
Okay, bring it back home now. May Day protests, they continued across the U.S.
Yes, significant demonstrations reported in cities like LA, Chicago, New York.
And the concerns were pretty broad, weren't they? Labor rights, immigration, federal layoffs mentioned too.
It really shows a convergence, doesn't it? Different groups voicing anxieties about economic conditions, government policies.
It suggests a fairly wide spectrum of people are feeling pressure from, well, various directions right now.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's public mobilization reflecting diverse social and economic concerns.
Okay, one last piece here, something quite specific but potentially affecting many listeners. Delta Airlines.
The seat classifications, they're making a big change.
Getting rid of basic economy, is that right? And rolling out new tiered options.
Yeah, starting October 2025, they're framing it as offering more flexibility and value.
So more choices, theoretically. Unbundling fares, perhaps?
That seems to be the idea. Cater to different budgets, maybe capture more revenue by selling specific perks separately. It's a business adapting.
It makes you wonder, though, will these new tiers actually feel like better value, or is it just shuffling the deck, something for you to think about next time you fly Delta?
Definitely. It could change how you approach booking.
So wrapping this up, we've touched on potential interest rate hikes, a temporary trade truce, travel warnings, social protests, and airline seating.
Quite a range. But they're not entirely separate, are they?
No, you see the interplay. Economic anxieties, global tensions, domestic issues, business strategies. They all paint a picture of a really complex moment.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe, for you listening. How might these different threads actually be signaling something larger?
Like underlying trends, connections we don't immediately see.
Exactly. Are these isolated events, or are they pieces of a bigger shift happening? Something to ponder as you take in the news day to day. Look beyond the individual headlines.
Think critically about how it all fits together. Great point to end on.